play this guy, super fast tempo. You just get him
5
some levels
seconds
and his first
remaining.
items in the safe lane, something like a blink and an armlet or something, and then you go around and you murder people. And they die really very fast. Nobody has quite that much physical damage output except maybe for like a phantom assassin if you're lucky at that point in the game. And you can also do Roche early. In general, like the vision empowers your team in team fights. He's going to have no trouble dealing with the Sand King sitting under tower, trying to, def those towers on his own, as Sand Kings are likely to do.
Dire team ban.
Yep, and gives you some very nice vision for the Phantom Lancer as well. Even though they pick the Phantom Lancer into the Slardar, I do like picking Slardar into PL because, you can jump in, you've got a nice AoE stun, and then you can find the right one, get the Corrosive Haze on him. You can't purge it off with Doppelganger, I do believe, because it's only a light purge, and Corrosive Haze is a strong spell, right? Is that correct? Yeah, I'm pretty
Yep.
sure it doesn't get rid of it.
10 seconds remaining.
It does not. So a little bit surprised that they pick into it. But to
5
be fair,
seconds remaining.
PL is decent against the rest that they have picked up. Ember Spirit depends.
Dire team pick.
You're kind of forcing the Ember Spirit into a proper cleave build instead of going like, the early peak, for example, build with either a solar or
Yeah, I mean, kind of, but at the same time, if Ember Spirit does choose to go for this Maelstrom, then it's going to put Ember Spirit in the position where he's got a higher tempo than the
Yep.
PL. So if you can kind of push past the PL and push in
10
when he's
seconds
yet to be
remaining.
relevant, then you can cause some real damage. And I think with a Slardar in their lineup, they
5
certainly stand a
seconds
chance of doing that. I
remaining.
mean, I am scared of Positive Guys as like level 6 to level 12. Like that sounds like it's going to be a really dangerous time on the map to beat HellRaisers. And whilst the Sand King is good, I feel like they need like a Lina or something to really push hard back against this lineup. But then I'm not sure you want to pick Lina into such jump as Ember Spirit and Slardar. So a little bit concerned about what they're going to pick up here. Maybe something like the Queen of Pain could also be an option.
Queen of Pain could be an option. There's a lot of things still on the board. I would like to see a secondary big damage source like Quap. You could also go for something very conservative that's not going to lose the lane per se, so a Kunkka or a Death Prof. The
Yeah, that's
usual
true as well. But
suspects.
I wouldn't want to pick Death Prophet into this lineup simply because they've got no cooldowns to worry about yet on Positive Guys. And Death Prophet is an exism, basically. I mean, she could do more than that, especially if she gets an Axe, but I feel like it makes her too slow. So instead, HellRaisers, they're going to pill up the Dazzle. My god, this is DM. He's either playing the Sand King or the Dazzle mid.
That's exciting.
Yeah, I completely forgot about DM actually. Yeah, this is so HellRaisers used to be Aachen City Esports Club, and they were just kind of tearing stuff up with DM for a little bit as they had the Sand Kings mid, the Dazzles mid. They mix it up quite a lot. So it's
5
going to be very
seconds
interesting to see who they
remaining.
decide to put on the mid lane. It's going to be one of those two heroes though, and DM is very successful usually when he brings those heroes to the mid lane. It's incredibly entertaining to watch as well. So Positive Guys now needing to answer up to this Dazzle again. Yeah, I mean Dazzle's really nice. He gives them a lot of momentum. He gives them some early game damage and pushing power. A little bit lacking maybe on the magical damage and pretty much in the damage throughout for HellRaisers though. That's my biggest concern right now.
Positive Guys is not that tanky,
Lina.
but
You
well,
may now
there's
select your heroes.
the Lina. So it looks like the Ember. Yeah, that's ILTW. He's gonna go to the safe lane, and then this is actually Nyx on the Dazzle.
Yep. So DM Sand King mid, I would assume, unless I mean they weren't playing with Nyx back in the Arkham City days. I think was it Funnick?
Yeah, so where I know Nyx from is he was actually going to play mid on Vega Squadron instead of Undershock,
Hmm.
and he bailed out at the last minute.
Oh right.
Went to play for a different stack, and instead, yeah, we got Undershock as a stand-in, so he ended up playing for us. But Nyx was very much a mid player back then. So I
Yeah.
wouldn't actually
10
be surprised to
seconds
see
remaining.
DM move that Sand King over to the side lane, where he's going to be up against that Ember Spirit. And yeah, if I'm Positive Guys, I'm going to put this Ember Spirit Undying. Probably try to put it opposite the Phantom Lancer, because playing Ember Spirit into a Dazzle mid is no fun either. And I think that Lina already shows that they want to put the ILTW Ember on the safe lane.
Yeah,
or at
I
least on
think
a side lane.
Undying and Ember can survive versus Sand King Rubik, though. I don't think it's going to be a total rollover. Or even Sand King Ogre Magi as well. Aloha dances on the Rubik. So.
Yeah, I'm less afraid of the Ogre Magi here than usual because, of course, Ogre does fare less well against the Undying than against pretty much everything else. He's not going to be as tanky as he normally is, and well, diving towers without a care in the world. Anyway, this Dazzle, I like it as a solution because you were saying you were a bit scared of this level 6 peak of positive guys, and I completely agree with that. They are gonna hit, once they get their levels up, they're going to be extremely strong for a while. But this Dazzle also gets into his prime very early, and he pressures towers, which is why I was thinking about the Death Prophet, you know? I wanted some pushing power out of that lineup. Something to pull people around the map with, like, hey, you gotta go here, because otherwise your tower's gonna...
Total.
Or even the tower defense as well, as we saw yesterday in, was it, who was it, Askamani versus Hypomaniacs, was it? When they just defended their middle tower for like 10 minutes or so, and just delayed the game.
Singularity versus Liquid.
Was it? Oh yes, it was. Yeah, Singularity just put on the roadblock in the middle lane and didn't let Liquid take that tower. They needed that tier 1 tower for that game to progress, so that was really nice. But I don't think it's quite the same situation this time around. But still, you're going to have this Dazzle basically being the brick wall. He's got to be making a lot of space and just kind of delaying the game to allow this PL to come online, because that is the biggest criticism of Phantom Lancer right now, is that he can't play at the same tempo as the other popular carries right now. The Juggernaut, you know, the Slark, these heroes can do a lot early on. Phantom Lancer always feels very underwhelming if he comes to a fight too early, and he's not like the Void where he's got a Chronosphere to make him be able to fight, but, you know, still farm up in between those times. He hasn't got anything like that. He's got no big cooldown spells. He's got nothing to turn up to a fight with until he's got at least a Diffusal Blade. And usually you're going to want the Manta as well, especially against the Slardar. So I think it's going to be a long time until we see Phantom Lancer really wanting to get involved. But he might be forced into a couple of fights early on, which could end badly or well for him, depending on how they go.
Yeah, and Positive Guys right now is doing what I'm seeing a lot of teams that are successful right now doing, which is they have these 3 medium cores. None of them are like proper hard carry, but all of them can, if they get off to a good start, make tempo, make space for the ones that didn't get that good of a start, and then all 3 of them scale pretty decently anyway. So even though they might not have a proper carry matchup against this Phantom Lancer, it's not like they're going to be in trouble going into the late game at all. Just because this Phantom Lancer especially, he doesn't have any other proper cores with him. Sand King is only like a, well, I'd call him a medium core as well, right? He's more of a utility type. And the same goes for Dazzle. So Positive Guys aren't even on the clock, and they have a much more flexible way of getting out of that laning stage.
What did you learn?
Whereas I'm especially worried for HellRaisers that if, for example, this Dazzle's first couple of pushes don't work out, they could get stuck.
Stuck in the mud. Did I play that game as a kid?
I have no idea what that is.
Oh, so it's like this game. It's kind of like It, but when you get It, you gotta stand with like your legs spread, kind of like stand on the floor with your legs spread, and then.
Wait, another one, and then you need to throw a ball through, right?
Yeah, or you crawl through the legs if you're playing on the grass
Yes.
in the summer. Yeah, good times. That was a great game. I was lost at running games as a kid. I was a pretty slow, chubby kid, so yeah.
I was tall and awkward. I feel you.
Yeah. I remember one time on a summer trip to school, I ended up crying because I kept losing at British Bulldog. Everyone was just targeting me because I was slow and fat.
That wasn't too
Yeah,
bright.
and now here I am casting Dota, so joke's on them now. Look where I am.
Oh yeah. If I remember playing games as a kid, it's mostly me getting a tennis ball through my glasses at some point during gym.
Good times.
Such a
Good times.
typical
Top lane,
first thing to happen
VTune's taking a lot of damage from Ghostic and Immersion right now as they're just blasting him. They've got some really strong level 1 spells on Positive Guys as well with this Slithering Crush and the Stroke of Fate, so VTune has taken a whole lot of hits right now. And Ogre Magi, he's just trying to come in and distract them, really. It's interesting that he goes for the Bloodless build without the Orb of Venom, but he just wants
And
to
it's the problem is this is not going to get better. This is a double melee lane against a Slardar who's going to start leveling Bash. And
Sends expectation.
even if this lane goes decently for Vichun and Miposhka can't leave Vichun. He's going to get killed by that Slardar.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, he can't. Once Bash of the Deep is up, like, Slardar just becomes this ridiculous laning presence. As you say, very hard to play against. But we'll see how much Miposhka can do. Again, you know, I don't like this Bloodlust level 1. I think in some situations it's good, but when you're against, you know, a Slardar and a Grimstroke, you kind of assume that Ogre Magi's probably not going to be hitting people a whole lot. PL definitely not going to be hitting people a whole lot, so I feel like the Ignite might have been the better idea. But, you know, Miposhka.
Oh, loses the battle for the creeps there as well.
Yeah, they pull off the range creep, which kind of sucks. And now they've got level 2 with the Inkswell coming down, and fairly sure this Ogre Magi is going to pop off right now. This Stroke of Fate does connect, a bash comes in, and Ghosted grabs the kill. That's your first blood coming through for Positive Guys, and a big hit up in the top lane, which was already going pretty badly, but that was just enough water to tip over the boat.
Yeah, that's an Ogre Magi. You almost never see an Ogre Magi become First Blood just because of how innately tanky that guy is, and he has so much natural regen.
Yep, but the damage from Ghost Stick and Immersion was enough to get through it. They realize that as well. You know, it's not just the fact that they have the damage, but they realize, they ping him out, and they go, you know, we actually have the opportunity to bring this guy down. I mean, well, Ergon a mid. Yeah, he's taking a ton of hits right now. Even with the Poison Touch on him, Nyx is still chasing here. Won't be able to get any more damage off on him as Ergon now turning around, maybe seeing if he can get a bit of return aggression out. But Nyx is playing it real far back.
Although Dance is coming in from the back though.
Certainly is. This is a Rubik sneaking in from behind, but Light Strike Array lands onto the Nyx here. Nyx backing himself out the heal, not doing much of these early levels. The Dragon Slave nearly finishing him off, but it looks like Aloha Dance will be able to bring down Ergon, and Nyx will survive. Not sure he actually wants to here. No, he's got a courier coming out relatively soon. I guess it's a flying carrier, but
It's a flag.
I don't know. I feel like you just want to die there and reset the lane. But okay. This Luna is not going to hold back now. Nyx is just not going to have to sit under the tower. He gets a salve, likely have to get North Salve afterwards as well. Like, he won't be able to match the aggression, so I don't know. We'll see. If he dies again here, though, it's going to be like anytime soon. Yeah. Anyway. DM dies in the bottom lane. Positive Guys, yeah, they've actually managed to take him down. Now up at the top lane, they take down Vichun as well. That is a combination, once again, the Inkswell with the Slithering Crush. And they're looking towards the Ogre Magi right now. In comes the Stomp, in comes the Stroke of Fate. Miposhka slowed right the way down, and look at these damage. It's just coming through from the Slardar constantly with the Bash of the Deep. He's got another Slithering Crush, does land it, but doesn't want to come under tower for this one. He's also out of mana as well, as is Immersion. But Miposhka comes back in, has to back himself up, playing the hokey cokey of death right now with Positive Guys, telling him to throw down a Fire Blast with Ghost Stick as he runs himself back. Right, yeah, he's got a couple more spells to throw out. I imagine because he's got no regen on him, he's probably looking to just throw out the last of his spells and probably Suicide. Maybe he sticks around a little bit longer. But
Yeah,
Vichun as well, it's taking so much damage and even dodge out the Stroke of Fate.
The story of that lane is really just told in the regen. That Slardar still had a salve left at 5 minutes almost, and the Ogre Magi was already out of regen. The Phantom Lancer, I wonder if he bought new ones, because I'm not sure if those tangos are fresh.
Yeah, now Miposhka's trying to challenge Immersion for the runes here, realizing that he doesn't have any mana, and trying to take advantage of that. But the Mango takes the one bounty rune now, running forward actually. Looking to get the TP back home. Will he manage it? Yes, he will. Immersion doesn't have a stun. So bounty runes going the way of HellRaisers. They get 3. Meanwhile, Positive Guys only getting 1.
Yeah, that was DM sneaking one behind the back of ILTW and the Undying as well. And the Undying has been doing his job here. I was talking very early in the draft about the sensitivity of this early Ember pick, like how you can really make the game hard for yourself, but Misha has done a great job of giving his Ember a proper lane, and now...
Oh, they're going for
dust.
DM right now. They do have the dust. ILTW still needs to close the gap, but they don't have any lockdowns, so it's pretty easy for DM just to scuttle itself away. Misha has no tombstones, so absolutely nothing to slow down this Ember, so...
no chains.
Yeah, they just chase him out, though. I think that's worth.
Yeah, in general, like, with how this lane starts especially, you want to not take any risks on how you can play it out. Like, definitely if you play this lane passive, it ends in your favor. So,
They've certainly got mid lane warded on the dire side, don't they? 3 wards around this middle lane.
Oh, yeah.
Dire's structures are
Yeah,
It's
this seems a
actually-
little bit
Aragon?
unnecessary.
Aragon?
Yeah, they're looking for him right now with the damage coming out, but Aloha Dance backing him up as well. Immersion now coming in. He's got that ink swell. They're looking towards Nyx. Nyx is taking a lot of damage. Ergon now having to back himself out. Aloha Dance really feels the need to finish off this kill. It's actually Nyx who has gone down. Ergon will eventually tick away to the poison, though. And that's going to be a kill onto both mid laners. So, all in all, a pretty much net sum 0 gain.
A lot of attention to the mid lane, though. Both of them, which is, I'd honestly say that's a loss for V-Tune especially, who is... Ghost Stick is nearly level 6, and this Phantom Lancer is going to have to abandon lane. Luckily, he is a Phantom Lancer. As soon as he has 6, he can hit the jungle decently well. He's got his illusions to tank up for him, but he's not going to be happy about doing it.
No,
This is not some Terrorblade that you can
yeah.
pick just, you know, hey, we're gonna go jungle at level 3, you cool? Yeah, we cool.
Yeah, but where's Terrorblade gone? We haven't seen him in such a long time.
I don't know, where do interdimensional demons go?
When they're not picked? I don't know. Other games, I guess.
You think he's been having fun out in Underlords? Because I really like my Terrorblades in that game.
Yeah, he's been very popular. Meta in one game, not meta in another. Maybe that's the way things work, all things in balance. But, oh, seriously, why have we not seen Terrorblade recently? He feels like he could be okay for the meta. He can find some pretty high momentum. Only problem is his low health pool. Oh, hold the phone. DM being chased down in the bottom lane once again. Misha's even going to pop a preemptive dust here just to make sure they can bring down that pesky little scorpion.
Radiant are scanning.
And there was an attempt from HellRaisers to answer with a kill attempt on Ghostic on the top lane. Nyx
Dire's
rotated
bottom
over,
tower is under attack.
but sadly, his spidey senses were tingling and he got himself out just in time. He's got his level 6 now, he's got his treads. First bracer down, second bracer on the way. This man is going to be impossible to kill and dealing tons of damage. Oh yeah, he's a big fishy boy.
Yeah, and V2 now experiencing the pain that is Corrosive Haze, but they're coming back into him now. A nice dodge out actually there from V2 just to make sure he doesn't get caught in the crush, but really very little aggressive potential onto Ghost Stick here as they unload most of what they have onto him. And he's not even down to about, not even down to half.
I mean, Poshka doesn't even have boots yet. No way.
Oh, he actually misses that ward as well. What a nice little observer here placed down from the merger, it looks like. Caught out now, LTW. Oh, he's got an Invis rune, an early rotation from the carry. That's what you're talking about with this two mid laners. You never know, but yeah, the sentry ward is here. And they're holding back. They realize what's going on there. Maposhka's just kind of walking at them anyway. Not too sure about this one, Maposhka. Nyx is coming over, though. Maybe he can save the day, or maybe even turn this one around. There's the Shallow Grave coming down onto the Ogre Magi. The Ghost Stick dropping low here. Can they finish the job? Yes, they can. Aloha Dance comes in with the Fade Bolt. ILTW still bouncing around this fight. Able to finish off Maposhka, but now himself has to back out a little bit here as HellRaisers are turning up the heat, and they'll force them back. Positive guys, though, they're not hanging back for long, though. Immediately coming back around and trying to push back. They might be able to even position themselves for these bounty runes coming up in 10 seconds. So far, HellRaisers not looking too interested as that telekinesis is still on cooldown and will be when the runes spawn, so LTW will take the freebie here. Poshka, he's like, well, no, not happening. See you later, boys. Or DM. Oh, trying to steal a little. Oh my god, max range bow strike. Yeah, that Haze rune.
Yeah, and I gotta say, it's gonna be a little bit disappointing for the Slardar to, you know, reign supreme in that lane and then find out that once Nyx comes over, you know, that's a lot of minus armor, that's a lot of damage, and you're just a poor melee boy up against a very high level Dazzle. So, a little bit unfortunate for him there. ILTW? Does he know Maposhka is there?
Pudge is just tanking the burn in the trees right now. He is waiting. He is waiting. And oh, hello! There he is! She stumbles upon him walking through the trees and sees a random ogre hanging out just staring at him.
He went out through the right side of that, though. If he would have, you know, walked back to the left, he would have walked right into the waiting pincers of DM. Good little microaggressions.
Little teeny weeny pincers.
Itty bitty scorpion boy.
Where's my kawaii? banking set?
Hopefully in the workshop, waiting for the next Midas mode.
Okay, well, Ergon, he has got a lot of CS, by the way. I don't know if you've kept an eye on the CS chart. Everyone's kind of in the realms of sanity, and then there's just Ergon, who's somehow managed to grab himself 25, 20, yeah, 20, 30 CS more than Nyx, the next one up. So he's got a lot of money, and he's going to find himself with really early Yule Scepter. Again, just more pressure going to be coming out from positive guys. I feel like they're going to be looking for a really early finish here because this Phantom Lance has had such a rough time in lane. It's going to take him a very long time to be a hero, and that is something they want to take advantage of. And imagine walking all the way across the map on V2 and only to find that Ghostic is still there. He's still in the bottom lane, waiting for you to arrive.
That's exactly what I wanted to say. Like, look at that poor man. He can't catch a break. Everywhere he goes, there's a really big fishes.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
And it's going to get
following me
even
around
worse.
everywhere.
He is working on that Aghanim Scepter, which means that as soon as he lays down that Slytherin Crush, you can't engage into this Slardar anymore. His team is absolutely going to melt you.
Well, the status resistance on that thing is absolutely bonkers.
Oh yeah, that too.
Well done. So another day, another Invis rune, but I feel like they're going to need to bring a couple more heroes around here if they actually want to take this one. As in comes the Corrosive Haze out onto the Phantom Lancer. Phantom Lancer happy to fight this right now. Nyx is making his way over as well. He's got himself these Necro units, only level 1, but Immersion is feeling the pain, and he's going to be dropped pretty quickly there.
Is under attack.
You know, I do love playing Dazzle with any kind of cores with extra minions or extra bodies. The
Meanwhile,
amount of
in the
damage
top
you
lane,
get out of the wave. Yeah, there was a Sand King there.
yeah, unfortunately, Ergon, that is the Yule Scepter reveal, and he grabs himself a 3 position with it, so very happy about that one. And now they move on to the Dazzle as well, and there's the Light Strike Array coming down. LTW's on top of him. Nyx running out of health pretty damn quickly here. Throws down the Shallow Grave onto himself, trying to turn around and fight this one, but he's really not doing much to the positive guys who just run them over and take both of these kills. However, Ghostic should tick away here. He's getting low. Getting low, getting low. Oh, 10 HP on the Slardar. Hello, DM still looking for it. He's thirsty, but he's not going to find it. The Corrosive Haze out is onto him, and Ghostic taunts him as DM will die as well. Positive guys left with a very injured Slardar, but that's about it. Very injured everybody, to be honest. There could have been a complete explosion. One caustic finale, and they all would have dropped like dominoes, but he didn't actually have it leveled, if that would even matter.
Are fortified.
There's 3 heroes gone for a tower that I personally think is not worth defending that much. You've lost this lane already, there's been damage dealt to that tower in the laning stage. And if you have to TP in when they're already under your tower, you're giving them all the information, you're giving them like exactly what they need in order to calculate, do we need to bring more people in here? Are we cool with staying like this? And the tower that you're investing all of this into doesn't even bring that much map presence, so I can only see it as like a space making move for Vichu.
Yeah.
But the space is not made, it's
Dire's top
bought.
tower is under attack.
And if you buy it for, well, not cheap enough, then you're going to find out that Vichu can't actually farm enough to make up.
Yeah, it kind of feels, I mean, you see, Dota is a lot like a game of Scrabble. You can have all these pieces, and a lot of them have a lot of value, but if they don't go together, then...
Not played it in Scrabble, because Vichu right now is at a definite risk.
Yeah, he's having some bad times right now. Under the tower. There he goes. Looking to play just for fun. Sending a message, bringing down that carry like he is insignificant. And he is insignificant. He has nothing. He's contributing nothing to the game so far. He's a very high-value tile piece, which just isn't really doing much. He's the
I was wondering how you'd get back to that.
I'm not letting it go. Yeah, he's your X or your Q when you don't have a U. You know, you're searching the entire game for the U's. Yeah, searching the whole game for his diffusal blade. I mean, he does now have it, but I'm not sure this is going to be enough to actually make him relevant. He also needs to find himself some magic resistance as well against Ergon, which is always a problem for Phantom Lancers.
Yes, he does have that diffusal blade
there you go,
finished up
cloak.
now at least.
He did have the
Yep.
Manta, switches to the Cloak, which is important.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Yeah, if he doesn't, they're going to lose the game, or well, lose the game, make the game very hard for themselves in the upcoming 5 minutes. He needs some utility items, he needs it fast, the time of saving up is over, he's got his big item. Is it? I'll lever it.
Misha, no hard dance. Have a very brief engagement in the river over a regen room where they're both max health and mana, so. And just about sending a message. And Slardar,
Look at Aloha Dance just
1,400
moving up
gold.
here.
Bottom tower is under attack.
Oh wait,
Boy.
sorry, that's the other way around. I was about to say that he's been trying to make these high impact plays, and I thought he was doing something stupid. Then I realized he's on dire. I don't know why I do that.
Okay.
Sometimes.
All right, first cast of the day, you're allowed to get away from it.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm not sure if he's going to be able, because this is Aloha. I know him. I'm not sure.
Tune
If
Urgon is
going
gonna land the stun. No, it doesn't go for it blind. Sees it in the last minute there. Should have known, but there you go.
If this Rubik is going to be able to keep
Well,
up
not
the
mid. ILTW in
conservative
the middle
plays.
lane. He's actually caught in a really bad position right now as they jump on top of him. Epicenter being used in everything, and that's going to be a freebie onto ILTW. Gets a little bit carried away without his team in the mid lane. And this is kind of a shining example of why Positive Gamers probably should have taken this middle tier 1 tower by now. I mean, this is 17 minutes into a game where they've got a significant advantage in not just the money, but also the tempo of the game. They don't have a significant advantage in the money, that's the thing. But their heroes are just doing way more right now, and they will be doing way more for the next 5 minutes or so. They need to try and get as much value out of this as possible. But with that tier 1 tower, it's still a great position for HellRaisers to just play around the map, find themselves some aggression, and of course protect their jungle, and
Going for the
protect
Phantom
Roshan as well. Now Ghostic down in the bottom lane is actually seen here. Smoke is popped, but he's on top of the Rubik, and the stun is going to get interrupted by Maposhka, but I don't think Alauhadad's getting out of this one. Tries to get the turnaround onto Urgon, and nearly actually manages it. Some full credit there, but in the end it's not enough, and now they find an extra one. V-Tune's in the trees, but no longer in the trees. He's ousted. Positive Gamers, the pest control is here, and that's a very dead Phantom Lancer.
And I'm not sure if there was either a D-ward or that HellRaisers was making this play without much vision, but that was extremely costly. And you can't really do that after bringing your Sand King into top, and you don't know where the enemy has gone. You need to back out of that jungle already, because they're going to pay with their mid tower right now.
Radiant are scanning.
Yeah, the pressure is trying to come in. However, they're taking a long time, and it actually looks like they back out.
Interesting.
Yeah, so still not really prioritizing that mid tower very much. But Slardar, you know, he's going to go for that Aghanim Scepter. We'll have it soon. That is going to be a huge spike for Positive, guys.
After that, they can just stand and fight, which is one of those things that oftentimes when you're running away with a game, you're not actually working on how you're going to take high ground, for example. But if you got this huge fish in the front lines with all of that status resistance, you keep pumping out the damage, and you've got yourself a high ground condition right there.
Yep, unlucky for ILTW there as he goes for the chains and doesn't quite get the odds in his favor onto the poster, and now finds himself with a poison touch on him as well. Necro creeps are looking for him. Who is looking for whom here, actually, is both able to clean up that free 200 gold.
Well,
tier 2 at top
since
is being
Feature is
thanked.
in
Oh,
the
DM.
jungle,
Think away.
Dire's
Very
top
close.
tower has
Very
fallen.
close, but the moment that dust comes out, he does get himself cleared away. But the top tier 2 tower is going to fall. Falling at tier 1 as well, as the Aloha Dance still looking at trying to push this one. And Ghostic, oh, they see him. Ghostic, he's also got his Aghanims coming towards him, but it's not quite here yet. They put the Tombstone up on the high ground, though, and these two heroes getting slowed down very much. The two-man stun as well. DM trying to get his way away from this one, but the damage is out onto him, and it does so much work. Aloha Dance and DM drop like bricks. They'll now look towards taking the tier 1 tower at last. They should be able to bring this one down without much difficulty. As there's that Aghanims on Ghostic. Didn't need it for that last little engagement, and it's going to do them so much work now. Oh, Roshan, be an option.
oh yeah, very much so. They have all the damage output in the world, and Ghostic can tank anything. Look at him. He's regenning almost faster than Roche can bash him down.
So the dual spell, Aghanim Scepter, upgrading a Guardian Sprint, and Slithering Crush to reduce this little puddle, which then in turn helps Guardian Sprint. And now immediately coming on to these two heroes. Well, they get the Grimstrike ulti on the wrong one, but still bringing down the Poshka, and they find Aloha Dance on the backlines as well. Something tells me he won't be escaping this one with his life. He's on the run, the right click's coming through, chased down by the Stroke of Fate by Immersion. Positive, guys, drawing blood in the dire jungle with an Aegis in hand now as well. It's looking real tough for HellRaisers. They do have V-Tune farming up, but he's still very far behind. A long way to go before he's going to be a factor in this game. Again, you know, it's just this Q piece. Q Scrabble tile. Just doing nothing until they have the means to make it work.
And we were talking before about how ILTW can totally be a threat to him, even going into the late game, just because of his cleave abilities. And he's got a Maelstrom. There's been no reason for ILTW to go into a more utility build, because the strategy from Positive Gamers has worked out perfectly. So even though V-Tune is getting a little bit of space here, he is not nearly going to hit that peak where they're like, alright, I am PL, I take over now, and you can't do anything to me anymore. There is totally a solution with Positive Gamers.
Yeah, I mean, I think there will come a point where the PL is kind of unstoppable, but
Yeah,
I don't think we're
for
going to be
hot.
anywhere near. They don't need to be worried about that just yet. They just need to worry about making sure they're killing supports. And down goes Aloha Dance. That's a tick in the checkbox for Positive Gaze, guys. Positive guys.
Gamers.
Yep. They're positive guys, I believe. I was calling them positive gamers yesterday for some reason, but they are
Positive
positive guys.
gentlemen.
And then I got caught between gamers and guys, but yeah, positive gents.
Gyroco.
Tier 2 tower in the mid lane will fall. Immersion grabbing that tower. That's a tier 2 dropped.
ITW is looking for the Phantom Lancer right now.
Yeah, he's been doing a pretty good job tracking him through the map.
Like, he could have totally sliced it into
They might go on this. The blink comes in. They're jumping on top of him. LTW is losing his mana pretty quickly, but will be able to slide a fist and get himself away.
Ergon TP, top views now.
Yeah, decides against that move.
Oh well, he's got a second TP scroll. He can come back to the bottom shrine. And in the meanwhile, his team has just been holding this offline triangle. Didn't find that one sneaky ward that's placed over to the side though. So there's still some dire vision up in here. And if Ergon and ILTW show on the top lane, they might actually kill their teammate.
Look at this Dazzle pick a little bit. It's been a little bit slow. I've been expecting a little bit more out of this Dazzle. It's really done nothing. We haven't seen him pushing towers. He stopped on the Neko book level 1 to go for a Force and a BKB. Now has both those items up, so it might give him the opportunity to kind of frontline the fight a little bit better, but still, it's still going to be like BKB into Slardar never feels fantastic, so he just puts Corrosive Haze on you and you still feel like butter.
Oh yeah. Like, Dazzle is a difficult pick to pull off if you don't get to dominate your lane, and against Selena you really don't get to. And as I said all the way in the draft, if the first couple of rotations don't work out, then you're all out of tempo. So there was that attempt on the mid tower where he died. He rotated to top once, only for pretty much nothing. And in the meantime, this Lina was just farming up her own jungle. Happy as a clam. So yeah, it gets rough. And one of the things that you could need with this Dazzle if you want to scale anywhere is make sure that you can properly play with the guy who empowers you the most, which is in this case actually the Phantom Lancer. In the early game you can bounce so much Shadow Wave off.
Light Strike Ray coming down as well. Ruby does manage to grab the lift, but this might be the end. Oh, just throw that Laguna Blade, whatever. He's now got an Aghanim Scepter, so that's 850 pure damage. Bye. And, 14% spellification as well, so it's actually 1069 pure damage.
Never refuse good.
Very nice for her.
Yeah,
So
so
how-
let's just
what's the
recap
Dazzle
on the
supposed to
Dazzle
do
as well.
against that?
Yeah, I was going to say, he's got the BKB now, and there's going to be a Corrosive Haze and Laguna Blade with his name on it, so good luck, Nix. Good luck. Well, it's kind of all stacking up on you now, buddy.
There's an Aghanim Scepter on the Ember Spirit right now as well. They're going all in on this outplay potential. He's going in. Push, guys. Is Miposhka going to get saved? I don't think so.
Yo, Miposhka, he's going to get eaten up fairly quickly as he Aegis will end on the Ember Spirit, but yeah, you know, they made good use of it. There's no more out of towers left. You can't tell they're playing too slow with this Aegis. They have very much laid the beat down onto HellRaisers, who are just trying to survive and see if V-Tune can come in huge for them right now. And he is farming pretty safely. He's been fighting for a long time without contest, but
Radiant are
He just
scanning.
got scanned.
yeah, he did actually.
Blind too, and he's going to see the boys coming in for him. I don't think he's going to stick around it.
No. The trees might get greedy and send out like a Spirit Lance or something into this lane. Let's see. He's got 11 seconds on his TPs actually. LTW, if he searches for him, he might find him. V-Tune quivering in the tree line. Looks like he's going to get away with it though.
And his team knows that the jungle is warded now because Nyx moved up immediately, and you could actually see Misha pinging like, hey, we got seen, there's vision here. Otherwise, he doesn't dare going out that far. And, well, you should be careful going out that far because Ghost Stick is hunting.
Let's just having a little look around, and hello, hard answer, Nyx. Ergon is seen. I don't think they can kill him though.
If they
might
take that.
Right for it. Ghost Stick's behind Ergon, moving straight into the trees though. Do they have the damage to bring him down in time? No, because a stun comes in from Ghost Stick, turning this one around, but Nyx still looking for it. The Yule's up from the Lina, gonna buy him a little bit more time, and Nyx realizes there's get out time. The Laguda Blade comes out, but he still gets away very close there in the bottom lane. But Ghost Stick only grabbing the one kill, but a fantastic jump from him as the positive guys are just playing hand in hand across the map right now. Never alone. Meanwhile, with Poshka, he is a little bit alone here as he got out to do a bit of warding, a little bit of de-warding, and instead just ends up dying. Life for support, hey?
Yeah, what you gonna do? You were laying against that Slardar, and he's going to be following you around all game. And altogether, I like the positive guys. They have been choking the map really very well, making sure that they don't show on lanes when people are, you know, when their teammates are hunting for the stragglers over on the side lanes. And I imagine that they're just going to be
Radiant's top
enjoying
tower
ruling
is
the map
under
right now. And look at the speed at which ILTW gets to zip around. That's... The Aghanims on Ember is still, like... I have trouble wrapping my head around that.
Yeah, it's pretty broken. It's very good. It's just the speed. The map control, it stops you being at risk whenever you're going in as well. You've got so many remnants up as well. It's so many aspects. Just improving an already fantastic ultimate will give you.
Well, V-Tune's got his Manta style finish now. And he is properly joined up with the rest of his team. I think they're looking to pick a fight.
Yeah, I like this as well. I think this is the right kind of aggression. They have a smoke on the Ogre Magi. Not swapped into inventory just yet though, so... Also on the Rubik, they've got 3 smokes between their entire team right now, but they're not using them. Maybe because they know there's no vision up, or maybe they're just waiting to see if someone can end this creep wave here. Thanks, he's sending the Nomicons out front. These teams actually just going to come in and farm this right now, and look at this. Look at the circle coming out from Misha there, knowing exactly what HellRaisers are up to. Not even a doubt in his mind as they rotate across the map, see nobody, and get a perfect read on the situation. They're like, V-Tune, he hasn't played this risky the entire game. Why would he do that now? He's just picked up a key item as well. It's pretty straightforward for him to figure it out.
And they get to decide now if they actually want to fight it or not. They're already halfway down and they're going to see Nyx any moment now. He's not there, guys. He's not there.
Poshka gets
Poshka.
a read on Ghost Stick, and Ghost Stick going to be jumped upon, stacking the stuns up straight away. They're just trying to get the damage off as quickly as possible. Epicenter going to come down, and Ghost Stick's taken care of, but in comes a rest. Misha fighting on the front line. The 2-man stun going to lock down one. DM is dead. They need to keep their PL alive somehow. In comes a Shallow Grave. That'll do the job for the time being. Merchant, they're actually leaving him behind. Oh, there you go. Ergon turns around and makes sure he's there to finish the job. The bounty rune's picked up, clearing up Poshka as well. It is not a good fight from HellRaisers, and Nyx now trying to get himself out of the situation as well, but ILTW's on top of him, going to force the TP out of Nyx, sending him back into the fountain. One of the 2 survivors off this engagement for HellRaisers. As a low hard dance rotates around the top of the map. Not sure what he's doing here. Maybe trying to get some wards up whilst everybody's out of town, but still a very costly fight from HellRaisers there as they think they can take a battle into positive guys, but a huge stun locking down 2 of their key heroes. Just really puts an end to things. As Nyx, oh, he doesn't have this BKB right now. All he's got is a 20 charge 1, and that is not going to help him right now. The dive is too strong. Positive guys, they really do not care. If they see you, they are probably going to kill you. Hard Dance trying to throw out some spells as well. The PL will be back in 5 seconds, but it's really important death on the Dazzle. They might still want to get that buyback, but doesn't look like it. Roshan is actually up, I believe, and Ghostic is already getting to work on the big boys. So they're going to make their way over and get themselves an Aegis and a tasty triangle of cheese.
Delicious. And yeah, that previous fight, right? It looks like one of the best that HellRaisers probably could have taken, just because they're getting on top of Ghostic. He doesn't even get his crush off. They kill him outright, but they also drop all of their initial damage on the tankiest hero on Positive Gamers, and then they're clustered.
They do get Urgon whilst they're doing Roshan, but
Yeah,
I mean, HellRaisers, they actually forced back out of Roche as well.
okay, that's unexpected. A little bit disappointed in Ergon here. And they're actually looking for the Roshan themselves. Nah, I don't think they can do
There
that.
is no buyback on the Lena, so they're definitely considering it. I mean, it's a risky
out
play,
spam
but
from
you gotta
LTW.
try it. And V-Tune getting stunned up. DM gonna swap places with him as he jumps into the pit. There comes a Grimstroke ult, but only onto the Rubik currently. Rubik looks like he's gonna be finished off here fairly efficiently. Being on the back lines. V-Tune is just gone. He's actually playing with zombies. There is nothing to be had from this fight for him. Luposhka as well on the front lines. RTW will pop that BKB to close down the gap onto the Ogre Magi, fearing the initiation from the high ground here. A buyback in from Luposhka, though they still don't want to give this one away. Tombstone is in the pit though. V-Tune going to jump in and take care of it, but they're picking him out. They're going to want to go on him right now. DM, he's going to back him up though. V-Tune got to be careful, but at the same time, there's a risk they want to take. Lena does now have the buyback. It's in. They go with ILTW, but out comes the PL. Doppelgangering out, but unfortunately DM won't be quite so lucky, but he's buying back. This is a fight they really want to try and take right now. They're trying to do their best, but it's just not looking like they're going to win anything here. Ogre Magi spinning around, waiting for the death. He has got a Fire Blast to get out. Maybe he can just use a couple of spells before he inevitably dies, but Ghostic will come in and finish the job. V-Tune still alive, so RTW comes storming up onto the high ground. Nyx forced out with the Shallow Grave. V-Tune maybe might be able to grab the kill onto ILTW. The lift is there. The chains as well, holding ILTW still. DM coming back in, and they grab the kill onto the Ember Spirit. A very critical kill here as he's dead for 80 seconds without buyback. Now Roshan still alive on low HP. V-Tune really wants to get in here and see if he can finish the job as they get rid of these wards and get into the pit. But Lena is back alive. She has herself a Laguna Blade that is cocked and ready to go. The stun actually misses. Lift up, lasting all about 0.2 seconds on to the Laguna Blade comes down on the back lines though a little bit before the Grimstroke ulti, so it only lands onto the Dazzle, who is absolutely fine for now with that Shallow Grave. The Tombstone as well doing a great job keeping HellRaisers outside of the pit. Roshan getting so low. The Illusion's trying to finish off the totem, but it's just not going to go down. Tombstone still alive for now, forcing HellRaisers back. Emergent taken to the front lines, but HellRaisers, they're coming back. They still don't have the Ember Spirit. Ergon into the pit will finish off Roshan just with a couple of magic bursts, gets the job done, but V-Tune's coming in. He's able to kill one. They're able to kill two. Grimstroke's going to go down as well, so HellRaisers, they might not get the Roche. Lena escapes with the booty, but still get themselves a couple of kills and a bit of critical map presence in this game. I don't think it's a total loss for them, but definitely not how they wanted that to go. If they'd have just managed to get into the Roche a fraction earlier, but they really wanted to wait for that Tombstone to go down. Unfortunately, it ends up costing them that Aegis, which they worked so hard for. You do feel for them, but now Ergon is going to be the Aegis holder with a cheese as well. You know, Kips, I always say, oh, hold up. We got some heroes in the air right now, and yeah, this is a low hard dance. Going to take that Laguna to the face. And DM might be in some trouble as well. The Bow Strike up onto the high ground. The pings are coming out. Can they find the vision? Can they get the chains? Yes, they can. Corrosive Haze comes down. Good night, DM. No buyback. 95 seconds. Positive guys might just be looking for the high ground right now.
They should be, yeah. That Sand King going down is a definite high ground condition here, and there is no way that HellRaisers can split push their way out of this. I gotta say, ILTW needs to respect his opponents a little bit more sometimes, I'd say. His BKB was still down for 11 more seconds when he just stormed up that high ground and got caught by the immense damage of both that PL and that.
Nyx, he's got the force stuff, but ILTW looking to follow up as well. Zooming on over the chains onto two. The Manta Force from V-Tune to back himself away. They'll be able to hold it back for the time being. Now, V-Tune has managed to grab a couple of items since the last engagement. A Skull Basher and an Ultimate Arb is going to be out from him. Should help him repel the forces of Positive Game guys just a little bit. This tower, never mind. This tower is not lasting very long. Ergon just applying the damage at the back lines. Ghostic hitting it up in the front here. They don't have tremendous push, but it doesn't really matter when everybody's just pounding on this tower. DM still 20 seconds until he's going to be back in this one. Being chased out by these PL illusions at the very least. Looks like they will repel for now.
Yeah, there's so much powerful outspam on the other side. The Rubik, he's got the Guardian Sprint right now, but if he picks up one of the Lina spells, he is going to be a real threat. And they already have good vision up on the Dire side as well. You can see this ward on the side just watching the siege area. So they have a perfect way to make sure that anyone on Positive Guys who overpositions is going to get punished. And Positive Guys did get reminded in the last fight that they can't just go running up to high grounds blindly. So they're just resetting for now. BKB on Alina right now. That's going to be a very powerful tool for them to push up. She's going to go grab it herself from the base, actually. I do think that Ghostic missed his window with the Aghanims. I can't say like he missed it for real, but they had a real opportunity previously to put him on these towers and make the impact that way, but...
Oh no,
He's found
V-Tune
V-Tune.
might be caught out here as he gets bashed up by Ghostic. Does manage to get himself the doppel, running himself away. DM coming in to help out as well, but there comes a Grimstroke ulti, leashing them together, stopping that Burrow Strike coming out, as in comes a double Laguna as well. It's looking real bad. PL might be dead when he hits the floor, and he will be taken out just as quickly. 77 seconds, no V-Tune. This might be the end. These two heroes critical at holding the high ground. Positive Guys, all that's left is for them to siege the base.
I mean, this is not even a siege anymore. No need to siege when they just hand you these skills outside of the base. V-Tune, what were you doing?
Yeah, a little bit too cocky, a little bit too far forward. You know, I always say that Dota, it's just like the game Jenga, actually. Yeah, you see, you spend all this time building your big tower, and then you got to take some risks. You know, you got to take some chances in order to take a step forward in the game. But you got to make sure you don't pull out that vital brick. And sending V-Tune forward there was unfortunately the vital brick, which will cause the tower of HellRaisers to fall.
Bottom barracks are under attack. Dire's bottom barracks has fallen.
And it is so hard after a game long of being besieged like that, and V-Tune has been under pressure all this time to farm up while his team was holding the fort. To feel like you finally got your items together, it's sometimes that gets you a little bit too excited, like, hey, we're out of the worst of it now. That's, well, unfortunately the worst of it is not yet over.
I mean, PL's back. He's going to try and jump into this one. Same with DM, but DM silenced up by the Phantom's Embrace. While LTW still alive on the sidelines here and will be able to snipe that kill onto Low Hard Dance, now running himself away, and there is no chance for a chase, but Ergon could be another opportunity. The Mega Creeps have been grabbed, but Ergon will be going down. Two heroes dead. They only lose their Dazzle, which is, I mean, and the Mega Creeps. And the Mega Creeps a little bit more. Yeah, Dazzle and Mega Creeps. It's a pretty big undertext there. Pretty big small print.
Pretty big small print. You know, that's the small caps.
Small caps, precisely.
Small caps. So pretty clear call there from Positive Guys to go for the buildings instead of trying to finish that fight off. And they could have, honestly, they could have just Boots of Travel bought back with Alina, for example, to get back into that, but it's the safer call to go back. They got the reminder earlier that that's just not a good idea.
That was hot.
And they might even look to perhaps use all of the space that the Mega Creeps are going to give them to get the full Mjolnir up on ILTW, for example. They could do that if they feel like it.
Transcends expectation.
Yeah, they're pretty chill right now, aren't they? Just chillaxing, hitting some neutrals, getting some bounties, living the life, living the dream. HellRaisers is going to be forced back into their base very shortly by these Megas, taking as much advantage as he can to hit them.
They have enough outspam, and also very importantly, because of these couple of exit kills, they could at the very least get some aggressive vision up. So there is a possibility for them, if they smoke out of their base past their creep waves, to actually smoke towards something instead of doing it blindly. Because in a Mega Creep situation, you're pretty much going to have to smoke past the creeps. Let's see if, for example, Ghostic gives away that he is not with his team right yet. He doesn't. They stay fairly clustered on positive games.
Now back as 5. Firebacks are very much up. RTW doesn't have his. It's not a huge deal, I don't think. PL and the Dazzle, meanwhile, they would have theirs if they're off cooldown, but unfortunately, they don't have the money as they have a spent on. But he has got a Skadi, so.
Oh! Ships in the night. Ah, he saw him. He got a glimpse.
DM trying to run away, but this Aghanim Scepter Fire Remnants are just so obnoxious. DM is going to be taking a fall here. He's trying to run around. I mean, he's not got buyback either, so this is a bit of a costly death here for old DM. What was he going for there?
He was just pushing out the side lane.
Ouch.
And this looks like a bit of a desperation move from HellRaisers. Putting V-Tune out in the front. But
Yeah, I mean, they were seeing if they could catch anybody at bottom. No one showed in the very limited time window they had, so. Did.
And now, positive guys is smoked up behind their Ember Spirit.
Yeah, now the jump onto the poster as well. Tombstone's coming down, and there's a double Laguna coming out as well onto your 2 course. Down goes V-Tune. The important one is dead. No buyback. They're still chasing through the trees, trying to grab the Rubik. He's not going to be lasting through this. Lower down, trying to get a bit of Beto out before his death, but the GG is called, and the game is over, and positive guys will take the first victory in this best of 3. Surprisingly, it took them 42 minutes, which, you know, was, I guess, sort of respectable for HellRaisers. You know, that Roche Pit fight looked like it could have been a turnaround point for them, but we never really saw the coordination. You know, we never really saw good enough gank attempts to get them back into this game and to get me really expecting them to pull out a victory here. So, yeah, no big surprise to see positive guys, sorry, ahead with a score of 41-12.
One of the things that really stood out to me about HellRaiser's performance here specifically is that I have seen them smoke, I think, once in this entire game. And that was a pretty slow smoke. They aren't exactly, you know, blasting down a wave, immediately smoking, premeditated. They were always sort of tentative. And I know that it's hard to play up when the enemy clearly has an advantage and is looking to build that. But smoke is designed precisely to do that, to give you the advantage of, you know, coming out of the blue, of moving faster on the map than they think is possible instinctively.
Yeah.
So I think that if they were more coordinated with their gank attempts, like they have a lot of lockdown. And they might have even had to risk V-Tune fighting a little bit earlier. Because the few fights where they did well was always when Nyx was in the backlines, V-Tune out in front, and they got that huge heal bomb damage down.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
I think that's a tool that they didn't really leverage enough. I know it's a decision you'd rather not make, but it was a tool in their toolbox, and I think these two things have been kind of neglected by them this game.
Absolutely. Well, that is going to put positive guys in an advantage in this best of 3 series. Now 1-0 to them. We'll see if they can finish things off in the next game. That's going to be coming up in about 5 to 10 minutes. Meanwhile, HellRaisers, they'll have to be playing from the back foot right now. A lot of space for them to gain up on the positive guys. My name is Nomad. She's been Kips. We're going to be back very soon with the next matchup in this best of 3 here in the MDL CIS playoffs.